Welcome back. Today we're diving into a local business that's doing something really special. It's a story about art, about heritage, and, believe it or not, a mission you can actually taste. So let's get into it. This is Walt's Backhaus, where every single cake tells a story.
Okay, I'm going to start with a question for you. Just look at this. Seriously, take a good look. What are you saying? Is that a gorgeous bouquet of flowers? Or is it a cake? And this is what people call the double take effect. It's incredible, right? On one side, you've got real flowers, and on the other, a cupcake bouquet from Walt's Backhaus. The craftsmanship is so good that you honestly can't tell the difference at first glance. It's only when you get a little closer that you realize, yeah, one of them is completely deliciously edible.
But as amazing as these things look, that's really only part of the picture. To get what makes these cakes so special, we've got to look at the philosophy that's literally baked right into them.
It really all starts with the name, Backhaus. It's pronounced Backhaus, and it's the German word for a bakehouse. So right from the get-go, the name itself grounds this whole business in a really deep sense of tradition and heritage.
And that tradition, it really shapes the bakery's entire mission, which they've boiled down to this really simple but powerful motto: cakes, care, and community. These three words, they're the pillars holding up everything they do.
So, a model like that doesn't just come out of nowhere, right? Well, the answer is pretty incredible, and it's all tied up in the personal story of the founder himself.
And here is where it all clicks into place. The founder, Walt, he's a foster parent in Islington. He built this whole home bakery by mixing two huge parts of his life: his passion for South German baking, which he learned from his mom, and his work in foster care. In fact, he actually uses baking as a way to connect and build relationships with the kids he works with. So when you hear them talk about care and community, that's not just some marketing slogan, it's his life.
So with a mission that powerful as the foundation, let's get back to the delicious part and see how all of that gets turned into, well, art that you can actually eat. So here's a look at their signature item. The cupcake bouquets are priced by size, starting with this beautiful 7-cupcake arrangement for 35 pounds and going all the way up to this massive 24-cupcake centerpiece for 120 pounds. The pricing really tells you what these are. They're handcrafted bouquet creations made for those really special moments.
And hey, remember that double take we talked about at the beginning? Well, this quote from a customer, Phoebe Fennell, just nails that feeling. She wrote, "I couldn't believe my eyes when I was told the beautiful bouquet of flowers was in fact cake. That exact moment of surprise and absolute delight is what makes these so unforgettable."
And it's not just about fooling the eye. Another reviewer, Ingrid Russell, really drives home this idea of edible art. You can just feel her excitement when she says, "These are not just cakes. They are some of the most beautiful, intricate art I have ever laid my eyes upon." I mean, wow. That says everything about the level of detail we're talking about here.
But the artistry doesn't stop with the bouquets. Walt's Backhaus also goes all in on celebrating its German roots with a whole bunch of traditional, seasonal goodies. So, come Christmas time, the bakery offers this authentic taste of a German holiday. I mean, just imagine it. Things like Zimtstern, which are these amazing spiced cinnamon stars, or Vanilla Kipferl, these super delicate vanilla crescents that just melt in your mouth. This is so much more than just baking. It's about sharing a very real and very delicious piece of culture.
And they don't just save it for Christmas. For Oktoberfest, they make handmade Lebkuchenharzen. Those iconic gingerbread hearts you see at all the German festivals. It's just another way they're keeping that heritage alive and sharing it with everyone.
Okay, so we've seen the incredible art, we've felt the mission behind it, and we've tasted the tradition. But what's the final verdict from the community, from the people actually buying these cakes? Let's take a look.
First off, let's just talk numbers for a second. Walt's Backhaus has 39 verified reviews on Google. Now, for a small, local, home-based bakery, getting that much feedback is huge. It's a really powerful sign that you've got a happy and vocal customer base.
Which brings us to the million-dollar question for any bakery. Do they taste as good as they look? Well, this review from Elizabeth Colville pretty much answers that. She kicks it off by calling it an edible work of art, but then immediately follows up with "the icing is just delicious and the sponge to die for." So yeah, it's clear they're hitting it out of the park on both looks and flavor.
And honestly, this final review from Fergus Colville just says it all. It perfectly sums up everything we've been talking about. He calls Walt, quite simply, the king of cakes, praising his amazing taste and unbelievable artistry. You just can't get a better stamp of approval than that.
And all of this brings us to one final thought.
When you look at the story of Walt's Backhaus, it leaves you with this really powerful question. What happens when a business doesn't just have a mission, but actually bakes that mission, its values of care, of community, into every single thing it creates? Well, the answer, it seems, is something truly beautiful.